Jackoff's father. Thank you. Whatever the audience thinks of this show, this is one of the shows the comedians have been enjoying the most. We don't need you guys anymore. We're having so much fun making fun of each other in the back. It's great. I said earlier, he's not here anymore. I wish he was. I went over. I was like, how'd you guys get Hodor? That was amazing. Do you guys remember the guy with the beard? No one watches Game of Thrones? Okay, cool. Looks like Hodor. A hipstery Hodor. Thank you. That's what I love more than anything when I hear an audience go, that's funny. Thank you. Thank you for your words instead of laughter. I appreciate it. I try to get dressed up for you guys tonight. I, right now, am, as the Jewish community calls, fly as a motherfucker. They say it sometimes. I don't know. I hear it every once in a while. But I want to get dressed up for you guys, so I want to look nice. Hopefully, your silence doesn't make me feel like I did it. Thank you. Thank you. I want to look good. Okay, so what? Don't? Great. It's tough looking nice in New York City. It's tough looking nice, especially in Brooklyn, because all these kids, they look so hip and cool and all that stuff, and then they wear all this weird stuff that you're like, well, how are you wearing that right now? Like walking around, like I do stand up. I try to wear a shirt and tie every once in a while. That's just what I do. And I have like kids that just come up to me and look at me, and like other ones say things to me. I'm like, I'm the dickhead. You have a top hat, overalls, and ski boots on. Really? I'm the asshole. That's what's happening. Really? I also realized I didn't mean to do this, but I look a lot like Ellen right now. I didn't mean to do it. Didn't mean to do it. I don't feel like I should come out and be like, there's a new Apple phone. That's my Ellen. I'm bad at it. I don't know how to do it. I look like Ellen. She's cool. There's worse people to look like. You look like fucking Hodor. I mean, there's other things you could look like. I love this room. This is a great room. Round of applause for all the comics. Everybody put it together. That's not me. I'm going to do applause for me, genuinely. The Inkwell is fantastic. I hope you guys come to more shows. This is a great room. Brooklyn shows are fantastic. Brooklyn is an amazing neighborhood. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to move to Brooklyn. I watched a show called Hey Arnold. My whole life, she was, yeah, that makes sense. We just looked at all of who you are as a person. You watched Hey Arnold a lot. I've always wanted to be a New Yorker. I always wanted to live in Brooklyn. I'm so proud that I get to do it, and I appreciate the people who've lived here your whole life. You let me live here. I really appreciate that. I love Brooklyn people. Brooklyn people are great. New Yorkers in general. We're also the only people who talk about things in the past tense when they were worse. We're the only people who get mad when things get better. I live on Myrtle Avenue, and I talk to my neighbors. They genuinely go, oh, back in the day, this used to be called Murder Avenue. In a tone of like, oh, remember when things used to be better? Remember when it used to be Murder Avenue? That fun time? I mean, I get it. If I had a big Murder Avenue or yoga studios, I'd probably try to dodge bullets, but here we go. I get it. I love performing in Brooklyn. I get to do that more and more. It's great. Usually I have to perform in Times Square, and that's not fun. I didn't realize Times Square has so many strip clubs. Times Square has a ton of strip clubs, like a lot. People always talk about like, oh, we cleaned up the city. Giuliani, he got rid of the prostitutes. I was like, no, he just made it pay taxes. That's all that was. That's all that was. He put them in a room and gave them a budget. That's all strip clubs are now. There's strip clubs all over Times Square, and I myself have never been to a strip club. If you have, that's fine. I've just never been. I just don't like skin and glitter put in my face without consent. That's me personally. Too much, just, you know. But yeah, I was walking by, I was walking to Times Square, I was walking to a show, and I love when people leave the strip club. Just a bunch of guys going out, and when they lock eyes with other people, they're like, well, that wasn't the M&M store, what? This is ridiculous. Trying to play it off. That's not, was it Hamilton? I don't know what's happening right now. But the worst I ever saw was like last week, I saw this guy and an older guy leave. Guy was probably about my age, older guy, a bit older obviously. They're leaving the strip club. And the younger guy puts his arm around his dad, or I just spoiled the joke. He put the arm around the older guy. And he goes, happy birthday, Dad. And I was like, oh! That's the grossest thing ever. And because I'm a comedian, I have an imaginative mind, I just started thinking about my dad. Talking about my dad in a strip club with his Land's End pants. Talking to the strippers. Chastity, that's an interesting name. Have you had that for a while? That's my dad in the strip club. I was just visiting my dad recently. That's the segue to the joke. I was just visiting my dad recently. My brother got married, and I was hanging out with my dad. My dad is a very weird person. Both my parents are very weird, but for different reasons. My dad is very weird. He sends me pictures of public bathrooms and gives them a 5-star rating. Yep, that's what my dad does. Once a week, he'll send me one 5-star rating, just give me a little quick bio of it, in case I'm in the neighborhood and need to pee and want to get a good one. That's what my dad does, and I'm waiting for the day when he gives me a call. He's like, hey, so I'm at a police station right now. Was it the bathrooms? It was the bathrooms, yeah.
That's an app.
I'm gonna go bail you out. Is that an app?
You should make that.
It's also a book? Oh, come on, Dad, get it together. Well, that's the last time you guys hear that joke. The last time anyone hears that joke. That's fine. The mom part of the joke's funnier. My mom, my mom's a very spiritual woman, which I realized recently. She's very spiritual, which is weird because we're Catholic. We're very Catholic. My aunt's a nun, very Catholic. Yeah, I like to visit my aunt at work. I call it March of the Penguins. It's fun. I like the 3 Catholics that really liked that joke. Anyone here Catholic? Yeah? Yeah? You sound like you've given up. Me too. Cool. That's what we do. We give up. People ask often, like, what is Catholicism really? What's a good comparison? Catholicism is like a Netflix show that is confusing and depressing. And you're 3 episodes in and you're like, I'm just sad and I don't know what's going on. I think it's time for a new show. I think it's time for something different. So we're Catholic, raised Catholic. My mom's very spiritual. I don't know where this came from. She's spiritual, not like the Rubies or Jens. She does the thing. You guys probably know this person, or you are this person. My mom, whenever we're like just out and about, and like a wind blows or leaves fall, she'll go, "That's Nana. That's Nana saying hi." That was her. That was her just there. Giving us a hello. You guys know this person, or you are this person, the person who does this? She does it all the time. And it's not bad, it just, it's not bad. I remember someone that has passed on, it's not terrible. But I should have caught on that she was this person, because she used to do this when we were young. I remember this. Her father, my grandfather, was a volunteer firefighter, and he passed away when I was young. And so my mom always raised us on, whenever we heard a fire truck siren, "That's Papa. That's Papa saying hi." Yeah. And as a child, I was like, oh, that's a wonderful little feeling for me. My Papa loves me. And then I became an adult and was like, oh no, that means someone's home is burning down. That's what that means. Today is someone's worst day ever. And there's an emergency very close to where we are. It's not Papa. It's not Papa saying hi. Or Papa's a dick, and that's how he wants to communicate with us. He's in heaven and God's like, I could do a rainbow, man. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I used to be a volunteer firefighter, so I want my family to know it was me. So that orphanage, light it up, let's do this. It's my grandson's birthday, I want him to know I'm thinking about it. Okay. The mom part's funnier, okay. I'm not going to talk about Donald Trump because I'm sure we all agree on politics the same. It's not really brave of me to be like, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, you guys don't like Trump either? What? It's not a real risk taking. But I do shows in Times Square, like I said, and I have people who vastly disagree with me. I go on the road and I disagree. And I don't want to talk about Trump because he's a terrible person. I don't want him to ruin the night. We're having fun. But I will tell you guys about what happens to me when I talk about Donald Trump. I get punched in the face. Yeah. It's happened twice this year. I've been punched in the face for making fun of Donald Trump. Same eye, the right hook, every time. I've been punched twice now for doing Trump jokes. Once while I was on stage. Yeah. First one was while I was on stage. Don't know if you guys have ever done comedy after being punched in the face, but it's weird. It's weird. It's like being at a dinner party and someone comes up and clocks you and you're like, what are you talking about? The kids are good? Yeah, I'm bleeding from the face. Don't mind me. That's my cheekbone. You guys moved? That's interesting. Got punched in the face once while I was on stage. And I also had to look at the booker. I was like, can I stop? He's like, you got 10 more minutes. Cool. Gotta keep working. I also got punched recently. I was upstate and I was making fun of Donald Trump. And before I go on, I make fun of Donald Trump because I disagree with him, but I always tell people in the audience, a lot of them Trump supporters, I say, I don't dislike Trump supporters, I don't think they're bad people. I know a few, I call them dad. I have no issue with that. Per se. Just Thanksgiving was tough, you know. So I try to live it in that world. I don't like him, you guys are fine. But I got in an argument with this guy about where you were sitting. We're arguing this and that, and we're going back and forth, and he goes, I don't know why I'm arguing with you anyway, it's all ruined anyway. And he points across the room, and across the room what he was pointing at was a Muslim couple. That's what he thought was the bad thing. The husband was dressed traditionally, but she had a hijab on, and he thought that was bad. So I went into this big rant with this guy. I was like, you think you make America great? They make America great. I quoted Nelson Mandela. Don't know where that came from. Don't remember what I said. I just went white liberal rage. I was like, ah! So I do this whole thing. He got so rowdy, he got kicked out of the comedy club. There was some applause, but also some awkwardness. That was fun to sit in. And I don't know if you guys have ever been kicked out of a comedy club before. But if you ever are, you will find out what this man found out. And that's that they only need to take you as far as the door. They don't need to take you any further. And if you'd like to wait a half an hour for the comedian who got you kicked out of the comedy club, you can do so. That's what this gentleman chose to do. I leave, I thought the show went fine, I leave, I open the door, I see him, I'm like, oh shit. I was like, I genuinely thought we were gonna have a conversation. I was like, all right, if you wanna talk, let's talk. Boom, clocks me right in the face. Punches me, same eye. These are actually the glasses I was wearing when I got punched, and I've ever heard an endorsement for Warby Parker. That's it, that's the one. That's what they should have on the website. Glasses so strong they can take a bigot's punch. That's what they should have. Fall collection, that's what they should have right on the site. So I get punched, my glasses fall off, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fight. That's what I think to myself. I was like, I'm gonna fight. Let's see what I learned from movies. Here we go. Watched Luke Cage last week. That's what I picked up. He's bulletproof, you're not. Remember that, Brian. So I go to, I guess, try to fight this guy. I go up, again, Ellen. I go up and try to fight this guy, and that's when the audience also was leaving the club. And the Muslim couple, they happened to be leaving. They saw what was going on. They saw me get punched. And the woman in the hijab, she knows Krav Maga, guys. And yeah, grabbed him by the elbow, kicked him in the knee, took him to the ground. It was the best moment of my life. Thank you, yes. I did watch that happen. I am a hero. Thank you. Watched all that happen right in front of me. I'm very brave. I looked at her and I was like, you're Wonder Woman, you saved me. Thank you. I mean, Wonder Woman would have got him before he punched me, but that's fine. That's no big deal. I'm not here to criticize. Oh, God, you guys are fun. Okay. I'll tell you guys about my girlfriend real quick, which I know surprises some of you, the Ellen whole thing. Take that, that's probably her. She's doing shitty jokes about me. I have a girlfriend, which is great. We've been together for a while, and I always think about the first time that I met my girlfriend. I lied to her. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I lied to my girlfriend the first time I met her. It wasn't a big lie. It wasn't like, I have a yacht. It's the lie we have all done. You've all done this when you're in conversation with someone and you want them to like you, so you just say yes to the last thing they just said. And then you're like, oh, that's not what I meant. We've all done this. I was doing a show in Philadelphia, that's where my girlfriend's from. I was talking with her, and she goes, I'm from Philadelphia. And I was like, oh, me too. And I'm not. I'm not from Philadelphia, I'm from New York, guys. That was my line, that's a dumb line. Because obviously there's a follow-up question. She goes, oh, what part of Philadelphia are you from? I was like, oh, shit. Shit. But I thought about it, I was like, I like this girl, I can do this. We were just think Philly. So I thought of something quick, and I looked at her, and I go, oh, West Philadelphia, born and raised. You know, on the playground, I spent most of my days. I was like, shit, I'm doing Fresh Prince. Shit. And I thought she would have caught it. You guys all did, and she didn't. It was amazing. She's like, how did you miss it? I was like, so much. I miss it so much. Most of my friend Jeff, we call him Jazzy. He's a cool guy. I think we like him a lot.
It's good.
That's the best Jazzy Jeff reference you guys are going to hear for a long time. The only. Not good or bad, just the only. That's factually correct. That's the only one we'll hear. I've been with my girlfriend for a while, so I'm learning a lot because it's the longest relationship. It's the biggest relationship. I'm also learning a lot because it's my first interracial relationship. Anybody here ever do interracial dating?
Yeah!
Yeah? Someone way too excited? Okay. It's like every goddamn day! So we're the only ones that have scientifically cuter kids? Okay, cool. Because that's how that works. My babies will be models. Our future presidents, my girlfriend's black, we're gonna make little Baracks. I'm very excited about this. It's a big plan in my life. Look at them in the crib every day. Yes, you can. Every day. Every day. So as you know, interracial dating, genuinely, it is just like regular relationships. Built on love, respect, communication, all that stuff. But we do get hiccups that I think are very unique to us that might not be with same-race relationships. And the big one is that we get people commenting on our relationship. You know, strangers that we've never met. Especially like when we're walking around New York City, like we're at New York City exhibit, people coming up to us and be like, hey, can I ask you about your love? I wish you wouldn't. That's weird. That's weird, stranger. Don't do that. Sometimes it's good, innocent questions and stuff like that. It is kind of new. We don't get that upset, but sometimes it's really bad, terrible stuff. Once I was doing a show in the South, and I brought my girlfriend with me, so you guys know where the story is going. Did a show in the South, and show went fine. I didn't get punched. It was great. And finished up the show. We're hanging out at the bar after, and this white guy with a Confederate flag tattooed on his shoulder came up to us. So you could tell he was a cool guy. Very reasonable. No opinions on us as a couple. Comes up to us and he goes, okay, I see you two swirling. I said, did you say swirling? He goes, yep. Like chocolate vanilla? He goes, yep. So you're using ice cream for racism. That's what's happening right now? Just want to be clear. He's like, yep. And we were like, okay. We weren't even offended, guys. It blew our minds. You know when things get so bad you don't even get angry? That's what this was. We just wanted to see him out in the world with other things that he hated. I just want to see him at a gay pride parade. Look at all this cotton candy floating around here. It's very silly the way he hates people. Well, I'll leave you guys with this. It's probably her. She wants me to get home. I get it. Cotton candy didn't do it for you, but the phone ring, that's the one that got you? Okay. Stressing away over a notepad. What's the right analogy? What's the right one? Working hard, but someone's phone fucking goes off. This man's a goddamn genius! Did he plant the cell phone? I'm a nice person.
The first host back.
You want the first toast back? Me too. Last thing I'll say, and it's about my girlfriend. I met my girlfriend's family 2 months ago. I met my girlfriend's family. And it's the first girlfriend that I ever met the family, so I didn't know what to do. What do you do? What do you wear? Not Ellen. That's not what I did. But we did something kind of cool. We just went to Philadelphia, met my girlfriend's family.